Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to SQL Full Course. Okay, this is session 6 and today we are focusing on database fundamentals and design decisions. These questions are frequently asked in interviews, critical for real-time projects, often answered incorrectly by beginners. Okay, let's start. Many students can write SQL queries but still fail interviews. Do you know why? Because interviews don't test only queries, they test database design concepts. In this session, you will learn why normalization is mandatory when denormalization is preferred, and why CHAR and VARCHAR behave differently. The real difference between SQL and MySQL we will see, and how auto increment actually works. If you want to move from SQL learner to SQL professional, this session is not neglectable. Okay, let's see the first question. So, in interviews, if they ask what is normalization, simply normalization is the process of organizing data in a database to reduce redundancy, improve data integrity, and avoid update anomalies. In simple words, do not store the same data again and again. That's it. That is the importance of normalization. Okay, let's see. For suppose some unnormalized table, let's see here. Let's see with some difference. For suppose organizing data to eliminate redundancy and improve integrity is normalization, as I already told. Okay, here for suppose employee table with repeated departments field is there. For suppose in one employee table, employee ID is 1 and employee name is Alice and department is sales. In the same table, another record, employee ID 2 and his name is Bob and department is sales. And third employee ID 3 and name is Carol and department HR department. Here employees and the departments names are there in employees table. And this is called normalized data. Why? Here repeated department names across multiple employee rows cause redundancy and update anomalies. Okay, here department sales repeated 2 times but different employees. But why department here, while we are trying to update employee details based on the department ID, it will create some type of confusion. That's why the normalization is important. In the normalization, how to do it is, here separated tables with references we will maintain. Okay, employee ID, allies, and the department ID. We are taking department ID in employees table and department ID in departments table. We are creating 2 tables. One is for employees and one is for departments, separate departments table. So for that department ID, we are creating one reference. Okay, for key primary key, foreign key reference I already told. Okay, second employee Bob, department 1, same departments, but department D1 represents something else. The D1 indicates will show in department table, and third employee C here for D2 HR. And departments table, one more table we created, that is department 1 D1 indicating sales, D2 indicating HR. Okay, now here single source of truth for departments and reduced redundancy and easier updates and improved integrity. This is called normalization of data. Segregating the data is called normalization simply. Here types of normalization is there actually. Okay, for example, one more example I will show you here. For suppose one table is there, that is employees table. In that employee ID is there, employee name is there, department is there, location is there, and employee ID, and here department is IT. Here department and location are repeated. See, department and location are repeated. This causes some redundancy. If location changes, if we change some Bangalore to Hyderabad, we must update multiple rows at that time. Okay, so normalizing structure, how it could be like this: the employee table and department table. Most of the real-time scenarios, they split the data like this. Here they will work based on reference. That is called normalizing the data. Here based on the references, employee ID, employee name, and department ID. Here department ID, here also department ID is there, reference. Okay, based on the reference it is working. For department ID 1 is called ID department Bangalore, like that. Okay, this is, and also let's see some types of normalization. Okay, Here mostly we will see there are multiple normal forms, but one normalization form 2NF, 1F, 2NF, sorry 1NF, 2NF, 3NF. This means normalization form 1, normalization form 2, normalization form 3, like that. Three types of forms are there, normal forms, normalization forms. Here each field contains only indivisible values. Okay, for example, a customer table stores a single phone number per row rather than a comma separated list. Okay, for suppose one customer have multiple phone numbers, but for each number we will maintain only one row only. For suppose a person have two numbers, two sims, two numbers, so he want to maintain two numbers for communication, but those two numbers are not present in a single row. Okay, that is called NF, normal form 1. It should maintain separate record for the customer with a duplicate customer name and different phone numbers. Okay, in practice, store multiple phone numbers in separate rows linked by customer ID to keep queries simple and indexes effective. That is one NF. Okay, and that second NF, middle, no partial dependency. Here non-key attributes must depend on the whole primary key, not part of it. What it means actually, in an order items, for example, an order items, Amazon items are there, table with composite key. Composite key, I already told composite key means. Composite key means combining two columns. We are giving primary key, we are assigning primary key with for two columns, order ID and product ID. The combination is unique key, the combination won't repeat. Okay, that is called composite key. Here moving some here items table with composite key, moving product name to a separate products table prevents duplication and ensures product name depends only on product ID. That's it. Like that is second NF. Okay, now let's see the third NF, non-transitive dependency. In most of the scenarios 3NF is usually enough. Okay, most in real-time projects 3NF they will use. No transitive dependency. What it means here, attributes should depend only on primary key, not on other non-key attributes. Example, separate a customers table and a addresses table instead of storing city and region derived from postal code in the customers table. So changes to region mapping happen in one place. Here, as I already told, no, employees and departments table we splitted the data, that is 3NFs. Separately we will maintain the records accordingly. Okay, separately for employees table we separated employee details table and departments table, like that. That is 3NF. Okay, in simple if interviewer asks, you can simply tell normalization reduces data redundancy and improves data integrity. That's it, simple answer. Normalization reduces data redundancy and improves data integrity. That's it. Okay, let's see the next question, question number 22. Okay, here what is denormalization? Denormalization is the opposite of normalization. Here we intentionally add redundancy to improve read performance. Okay, that's it. Here for suppose let's see some example. Here denormalization, nothing but here directly we will create like this, employee ID, employee name, department name, like this. Okay, here no join is required, queries become faster. Okay, and but redundancy increases. Here when to use denormalization? Denormalization is used in data warehouses, reporting systems like Power BI, Tableau, these systems, and analytics dashboards. At the time denormalization useful. Okay, here now here read performance is more important than updates. Okay, in here while creating reports, at the time read performance is more important than updates. Okay, for interview if they ask denormalization related, no, simply denormalization improves performance at the cost of redundancy. Performance at the cost of redundancy. What is normalization? Normalization reduces the data redundancy and improves data integrity, and denormalization improves performance. Normalization improves data integrity. Denormalization improves performance at the cost of redundancy. Okay, that's it. Now let's see difference between CHAR and VARCHAR. What is CHAR? Character data type and varchar data type. Here char data type and varchar are both used to store text data, but their storage behavior is very different. Here feature like for suppose some char means fixed length, but varchar means variable length. Here space, while coming to space, always uses full means like here space means always uses full size, and varchar, while coming to varchar, uses only required space, and character data type is faster comparatively varchar, it's slightly slower, and you can add spaces in character related data type. Padding is nothing but add spaces like uh, initial space and ending side space, like that. Here no padding, varchar won't allow no padding. Okay, for example, for suppose let's see some example. Here example Vinay is there, stored as var character, uses Vinay stored as var character uses 10 bytes padded, while as varchar 10 uses 5 bytes only actual characters, because here varchar stored as char 10 uses 10 bytes means padded. It also takes some spaces also between spaces, letter to letter spaces also it will, but here it takes only how many letters you used, 5 bytes, 5 letters 5 bytes it's used, like that. Okay, that is varchar. When to use varchar, char and varchar? Here for any gender related fixed length single character values such as male, female, others, like for fast lookup, and pin code, short fixed length numeric codes where padding is consistent and predictable. Pin codes are almost same for a particular region, right? That length. And fixed status codes enumerates with constant length used across tables for joins. Okay, simply for interview you can tell char is fixed length and varchar is variable length, that's it, like that you can simply answer for interview. Here performance like use char for truly fixed length fields to avoid trimming overhead. Prefer varchar when many values vary widely to reduce input output for large rows, like that. Align columns type to typical value lengths and avoid over provisioning fixed sizes, and consider compression and proper collation to save space for large text columns, like this. Okay, now let's see the difference. 24th question, they will ask some type of difference between SQL and MySQL, what it is. Here there is a very common beginner confusion. Here SQL is not like MySQL. Okay, SQL is a language, but MySQL is a database software. Okay, here SQL is a query language, but MySQL database software. Here SQL used to write queries, but MySQL executes SQL queries. Here ANSI standard we will use, but developed by Oracle. MySQL completely developed by Oracle, and SQL used by many databases, but MySQL only specific database. Here SQL is like English language, MySQL is like a person who understand English. Okay, that's it. Simply you can answer SQL is a language, but MySQL is a RDBMS, relational database management system, like that. And that's it for SQL and MySQL. Now let's see what is auto increment, the 25th question. Auto increment automatically generates a unique number for each new row. It is commonly used with primary key. Okay, let's see some. For suppose auto increment is that command not applicable for Oracle SQL. To implement auto increment in Oracle SQL, we have to use some identifiers. Okay, I will explain this identifier related concept in the next video. A little bit complex, that's why. Okay, auto increment is in MySQL only, not as Oracle SQL. It is not works in Oracle SQL. Okay, stay tuned to the channel. We are closing the session. We will cover the remaining questions in next session. Okay, thank you so much. Here see, if you create auto increment for a particular column in Oracle SQL, it won't accept actually on Oracle SQL. In MySQL only auto increment will
it will accept. Okay, so this is the structure to implement auto increment in Oracle. If we execute the query, if we try to create the table, it won't create the table with auto increment. See, it will throw an error like this. Okay, stay tuned to the channel. Thank you so much.